Now for Chapter 1, Lesson 2, we're talking about sets of real numbers. All we're talking about in this section, which is still addressing 8.NS.1, all right? What we're talking about is real numbers are any numbers that we can actually use as opposed to numbers that aren't real, which we talk about in algebra at the high school level. So for right now, what we need to understand is rational numbers are any number, right, that we can rationally identify on a number line. Cool? So that's the biggest part, is 27 over 4, we can divide that, we can find a decimal, that will be a terminating decimal that we can find on a number line. If we can write it as a fraction, then there's a good chance that we can find it on a decimal. Again, if we can write it as a fraction, or write it as a terminating decimal, then we can likely find it on a number line. Cool? So integers are a specific group of numbers that are positive and negative whole numbers. All right? Whole numbers are numbers like 0, 1, 2. This is square root of 4 is 2. So that's a whole number. The square root of 4 is a whole number because 2 times 2 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. So whole numbers are just like 0 is a whole lot of nothing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those kinds of whole numbers besides 0, those are counting numbers, all right? Some people call them counting numbers. Some people call them or natural numbers, but regardless, integers extends to the negative side of the line, and rational numbers involve fractions and decimals. Cool? Including positive and negative fractions and decimals. So if you can understand and apply these words to different sets of numbers, then you're going to be fine. All right? And this is just a matter of practice talking to people about the numbers in ways that are specific to these categories, these classifications. Irrational numbers like the square root of 2, or pi, which is an unending, like it's 3.14, and then it goes on forever. This is not a terminating decimal. Negative, square root of 11 is not a terminating decimal. You cannot write that as a fraction. Square root of 17 is not a terminating decimal. You cannot write it as a terminating decimal or a fraction. Same with square root of 2. These are irrational numbers, all right? We're going to learn how to approximate them on a number line, but not actually give an exact number. So we'll probably round each of these to a second decimal place, but they're not accurate, all right? They're not going to ever be exact. They are irrational approximations. So that's all you really need to understand about section 1.2.